What's going on, boys and girls? It's Christian with Sloppy Horror. Before we start this episode, I want to take a second and drop some big news on you. After many requests, the wait is finally over. SloppyHorrorPodcast.com is up and running. So for all of you asking for merch, it's here. Finally, our merch, content, and entertainment can all be in one place. Now, we're an independent show without any sponsors, so you fans are all we have. Ozark and I are humbled each week by the love and support from all of you, and we thank you for letting us be your scary movie companions. So, if you want to support us, check us out at SloppyHorrorPodcast.com. This world is full of artists, but very few are remembered. The thing that separates the remembered from the forgotten is simple. It's originality. It's easy to mimic an idea, but who out there can create their own? On today's episode, we are discussing a work from one of the most impressive talents the horror genre has ever seen, Clive Barker. Clive is not only a director, he's a well-established writer and painter. This man has his own style. You can spot his work from a mile away. Dark stories with rich character development, laced with blood and gore and sexual undertones, he is his own and unmatched by any. It's a crime we've gone this long without covering this movie, but we wanted to save some of the best for the spooky season, and this is one of them. Clive Barker's 1987 classic, Hellraiser, based on his novel The Hellbound Heart. Hellraiser gave the world a gang of new villains to be terrified of, the Cenobites, led by the infamous Pinhead. A meet and greet with the Cenobites can be scheduled, by the way, if that's your thing. All you have to do is solve the puzzle box. Once unlocked, they'll show up and they'll blur the lines between pleasure and pain and torture you for eternity. No big deal. The impact of this movie is still being felt today and discussed by fans old and new. So what do you say we become explorers of the further world of experience? I mean, Ozark and I have such sights to show you. It's time to shake these chains. You guys did open the box technically, so now you gotta come join us as we give our take on Hellraiser. Boom! Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey. And I am here with the best producer in the whole wide world, and he's back again for another week clapping your cheeks, and that's Ozark Mark. What's going on, Ozark?
I'm coming in with big hands, clap your cheeks, make it go. Here, and welcome to the show. Here today, we have such sights to show you, or maybe here, not show you, because you know, some people may not be watching this, with their eyes. They might be watching with their ears. So we have such sights to talk to you about, I guess.
Like how you said.
Anyways, if you're a horror fan, you probably know exactly what that means. We are talking about what, Mr. Christian Ramey?
We're talking about Hellraiser, Ozark. Now, this is a flick. We didn't talk about this last season with The Pillar, but the last season, it's not like we did it last year, it was the beginning part of this year. And I felt with Hellraiser, I says to the guy,
Stop saying that.
It's like, so I says,
shut up.
We need to make sure.
That's so funny.
I don't know.
I says, but you're saying it like you're not like doing the typical voice, like you're meaning to say it like that. You just naturally
actually say that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I go up there. I says, what?
So the guy says to me, he says, the old people always do that.
I know, I love it when old people say it. I says to the guy here.
Well, if you're familiar at all with the horror genre, and if you've ever been to a convention or if you've ever been to anything, you've seen Pinhead. You know how big of a movie this is.
Have you ever been outside on Halloween?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. This hit home for a lot of people, and to be fair too, and to start off, this missed a lot of people as well, because it is a very specific movie. This was made by Clive Barker. As we talked about in the intro, Clive Barker is just kind of one of those rare guys. I mean, he's like he wrote books, obviously, that this was adapted from his books. And then he's also like a painter, a director, just one of those crazy, like a true artist, a true guy like that. So when you watch Hellraiser, it looks like nothing you've ever seen before because it's Clive Barker and he's just he's in his own world and he got to make whatever he wanted. And this was, I'm not saying this like as a knock. I'm saying this as like he didn't get enough credit because it was hard to be like a gay director back then, and even as straight guys, you could see that, especially in like that world. He was a gay dude making movies and they had like sexual tones to them. I mean, this whole movie's sexual. It's like pleasure, pain, some like real BDSM undertones. And I thought that was kind of badass. He just was almost like a David Bowie or something of his generation in a sense where he's just like, dude, I'm going to do what I want. I don't care if it fits in. I don't care if you don't like it. But a lot of people did. I mean, the Cenobites are pretty badass, Mark. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know if you like this movie or not. Obviously, we're going to get into it. But it's like horror characters alone. You're not just getting one guy. I mean, Pinhead's the ringleader, but you've got a whole like army of dudes. I think there's something really badass about that.
Yeah, they're definitely different than many of the other typical horror icons.
Yeah,
they're very different. They're very unique, and there's a crew of them. There's not many crews in this either, and they do create fear. There's something about these guys that creates fear. Like you do not want to get caught by these guys.
No.
At all. I'd much rather get caught by a Jason because I know he's just going to come in and just get me with one strike and then it's instant death. These motherfuckers are going to torture you
until you like it.
Until you like it, and then they're gonna fucking torture you some more. Like, this is true hell. This fuck. I'm not picking up any. I don't want to pick up a Rubik's Cube anymore. You know what I mean? After this bullshit.
No kidding. And that's an interesting concept too. Like, what other horror movie do you know where it uses a puzzle box? Hellraiser series is its own thing. And even as obviously we're only covering one, but I will say the franchise did kind of go its separate ways, and I did enjoy many films of the franchise. This one obviously kicking it off. Now, I guess it's our job, or what we do usually, is just run down a little synopsis for the people who haven't seen this movie. So you have this guy, Larry, and Larry has a girlfriend named Julia. Or maybe they got married. I don't know if they're married or not, but they're like a new couple, and Larry has a daughter who is an adult, pretty much. She's like 20 years old.
Smoke show.
Oh, my. Yeah, her name's...
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. Kirsty is most definitely a smoke show. Most definitely one of my favorite final girls of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley Lawrence is the actress's name. She is smoking hot.
Yeah.
Anyways.
She's pretty easy on the eyes.
Dude, she is. Now, her character, the way that I'll put this is, once there's a puzzle box in the Hellraiser series, and if you open this puzzle box, it opens doors, but it's like doors to hell, and it unleashes this group of people called the Cenobites we've been talking about, and Pinhead is the ringleader. And what these people do is they trick you of what heaven and hell is. They torture you and pleasure you at the same time to the point where you don't know which is which, and it's like an eternity kind of thing. Well, Larry, so that's Kirsty's uncle, Frank, is a person who opened this box, and he was kind of a weird character, kind of a black sheep of the family, so nobody knows where Frank is, but really he was in the Cenobite lair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a little family drama.
A little.
Julia,
just a little.
Julia, Larry's significant other, used to be fucking Frank. Frank was clapping them cheeks.
He was clapping the cheeks on the wedding dress.
Yeah, of his brother.
This fucking bitch, and I can say that because I'm a faithful man to a woman, okay?
Yeah, no, this is a bitch.
This fucking whore.
Yeah, she's a whore.
Is fucking, It does a great job of making you, like, really hate her.
Yeah, and I don't even slut shame. Like, go have your hot girl summer. But what she did was downright dirty. No one likes this lady.
No.
And there's a strange... Okay, so here's what's going on.
Especially Larry, he's a hard-working guy. He's just trying to make a nice house for this broad.
Great guy, great
He's over
dad.
here working his tail off, moving mattresses. That ain't easy.
No, so...
And what does this bitch do? What does this bitch do?
Well, let me give him the rest of the synopsis.
Sorry,
here,
I got all excited.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
I get excited too. See, it's wearing off on you. It's wearing off on you. What's going on though is, so she was banging Frank. Well, Frank comes back, but Frank is like a demon, like barely alive. He's like a sack of bones when, like, pretty much when it starts off.
It's like a pile of mucus.
Yeah. And he gets brought alive by some blood. What happens is Larry bleeds on the floor because he cuts his hand while moving the mattress. This mattress, like Mark said, when they were moving in. And it brings him alive. And eventually, the more he grows, he reveals himself to Julia. And she's freaked out at first, but he's like, look, you got to kill people to bring me back alive. So every person you kill, I'm going to he pretty much drinks all their blood and all their, everything inside of them. And he starts to come back together, and he starts to get more flesh and muscles on him as the movie goes on. While she's killing people. She's tricking dudes. She's going to the bars and picking up dudes. And we're going to get into how strange all that is, because there's a lot I have to say about that. Very strange. But she dupes these guys back to her house, and she pretty much kills them with a hammer. Frank drinks all their life, or whatever he eats.
Yeah.
And he's on the run from the Cenobites because he escaped. He escaped them. So what he's trying to do is come back to life and run away with Julia. He needs just enough people to get alive. Well, Kirsty kind of gets wind of what's going on. She finds Frank before he's at his full form. She messes with the puzzle box. She sets him up. It's a fun time. So now you guys kind of have an idea. It is a unique story. It's a little out there. But hopefully my little synopsis, if it didn't confuse you, hopefully it kind of gave you a nice layman's terms of what's going on. So,
I feel like if I went to the video store and I picked out that movie and I read the back of the VHS tape, I feel like that's what it would have said.
Yeah, or maybe that's what the stoner video store clerk would have told you. Look,
hey, man. This movie's
brother.
Crazy, man. I'm telling you, this guy, he's starts out as like a sausage or something, man. He grows these little talons, and then, this lady hits her with a hammer, and then he comes back to life. And then, this box, man, I'm telling you, there's this weird big termite it's crazy, man.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I miss that. That's not around anymore.
Yeah.
But that's a good enough synopsis. Now, moving forward, I do want to say, as we already covered, the Cenobites are badass. They're some of the coolest characters. But a lot of the killing done in this movie is done from Julia. She is nuts, dude. With a hammer. Not like a large hammer. And she's not like some large, shot-put Olympian woman. She's not like Miss Trenchbull from fucking Matilda.
No, it's not. It's going to take a couple whacks for her to get you down, which is going to be painful.
Bro, is shit. These are painful deaths. Usually, in horror movies, people get whacked and they're out. Dude, this is with a hammer where you're ow! The fuck? Why did you do that?
It is.
I don't think I would have went down. She would have really had to knocked me out first blow, because that would have hurt so bad. I think rage.
Rage would have overcome you, and then the mix of adrenaline and rage. But the problem is she picks up all these wimpy ass dudes. It's funny. Every time she brings a guy back, he always says the wrong thing.
Simps.
Yeah, I guess so. One of them, I love the last guy. She comes up and kills her going up the stairs. He's like, sometimes I get lonely. It's why are you saying this?
That?
Why do you keep saying this stuff?
Everybody does.
Everybody does, I suppose.
What's stranger to me, because I'm sure this actress wasn't this way. I don't recognize her from anything else, to be truthful with you. But she is not a smoke show, if I'm being nice. And maybe somebody found her. Maybe it's a British thing, Maybe it's I don't know. But like,
well, they are older people though. I mean they are, and like
lonely.
like Larry he's got wrinkles on his body.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean? So
I feel like they might be 50 plus.
We don't see 50-year-old attractiveness the way 50-year-olds see 50-year-old attractiveness.
Yeah.
Like, look at me right now. Do I look that much different from like 10 years ago?
No, not really.
No, but I guarantee you, if you did not see me for 10 years and then saw me again now, you'd be like, whoa, man, you look so fucking different and shit. You know what I mean? If that made any fucking sense at all, I have no idea.
If I could save time in a bottle.
But
yeah, I get what you're saying, Mark. It is strange to to consider that fact, I guess. Old people need love too. They need to make love too, bro. They need to throw their hearts out of rhythm, banging and stuff. I mean, old people do that kind of stuff. Old people die from banging all the time, dude. And it's like, hey. I mean, that's the most Fonzie way to go out, bro. Coming and going, brother. You do the same thing, and you're just out. Goodbye. She's down there like, what's happening? Goodbye. I love you. Your body just hits the floor. Oh my God, I killed him. But there would be like a tad bit of confidence from that if you fucked somebody to death.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not from killing them, not from like actually brutally hurting them, but like if it was consensual and it was just some, you were gyrating that thing and you just threw him out and you killed him. You'd be upset, but there'd be a part of you to be like, I gave him a good life.
Yeah, that's an achievement.
That is an achievement, bro.
It's an achievement that many people don't have.
I fucked you to death, but there are women's. I mean, maybe a few men's, but I think it's mainly women's. I think it's young women's and these old wealthy men's.
Mm-hmm.
And they get together and they start coming at it like it's 1978, and their heart just says, one of us is coming. One of us is stopping.
Look, man. It's a lot of work, okay?
Oh, sure.
Especially when you turn the fucking turbo on, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, you get out of breath. The people crack me up. They say, I could fuck for hours. No, you can't.
Not hours, no.
You would have to switch roles every 5 minutes for both of you to not get winded and tired. Because you guys are not triathletes.
Yeah, I'd say it's about a 20-minute to 30-minute max.
That's with foreplay, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes, but there is a lot of position switching.
Of course. You got to do the Kevin Hart thing where he's talking about, like, switch it up.
Yeah, I've got problems, Ozark Mark. I need to be up there on the scoreboard like real big time before I finish with my 1 point. I don't like to give them points that easy because we can get multiple points and they can only get one. And there's a fun in that. There's a fun in that. So it's just like, yeah, you got me, but I got
they
you
can
5.
Get more. They can get more than one too.
Well, no, I'm saying like.
What are you saying?
You can hit their button 5 times, but they only got that 1 time per session. Yeah, maybe multiple times in the night. So it's like once you rack up that scoreboard, you can kind of like, yeah, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want for the rest of the day. But if it's like one of those consensuals where it's like you're tied on the scoreboard, you don't know where the power lies for the rest of the day, Ozark Mark. I'm just telling you what happens in homes. If you both finish the same on the scoreboard, it's equal playing grounds. But if you're like, if you hit that button 5 times and she hits yours once, you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to Christian's house. We're probably going to go to a casino, all right? And she'd be like, all right, I'll see you later. But you only got like a half hour. You got like a half hour. A half hour.
What are you talking about?
I'm just telling you how you get away with stuff.
Look, come back towards the topic here. I don't even know where the fuck
we're at. She played with her box. I came. Is that what he said?
I don't know.
Okay, just kidding. We didn't mean damn close. We didn't mean to get graphic, okay? But this is called Sloppy Horror Podcast. So if you clicked on this it's Sloppy Horror Podcast, and this episode's called Hellraiser. And then how far are we into this, Mark?
Nobody knows anymore.
Well, if you're this far in and you're like, oh my goodness, these guys are nuts.
Well, go back to a different episode then. Who cares?
Yeah,
Who cares? What are you gonna do here?
Yeah.
So
I joke, I kid.
Great stuff here. So, Do you have a favorite character of this, Christian Ramey?
Well, Kirsty's up there, but not in the sense that she's just a smoke show, but I have favorite final girls.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I want to be stitched or put into a TikTok. This is powerful. This is powerful because this is final girl stuff. Jamie Lee Curtis is a great actress. She killed it as Laurie Strode. She was a strong woman. She took out Michael Myers, but Michael Myers was a dude. I mean, a shape or whatever. The reason I love Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street is my favorite is Freddy's not a dude. You just fought like a demon. If we're believing the premise of this movie, and we are going to rank final girls, you just fought a demon, and you turned your back on him, and he killed your fucking mom and your boyfriend and your friends, and you beat him. Yeah, that's some shit. That's some not casual. And he really went at her. Well, I really like Kirsty in this because you're fighting. I mean, I'm sure they can see behind you. And if you're an audio listener, you know the Cenobites. Like Mark said, I mean, they come on the scene pretty frightening. They really do. They have they're very dramatic with their introductions. The dong, the music comes on and
Get
the lights.
The smoke going,
Dude.
Blood splattering everywhere.
Oh, the scores in this are really neat. I really like that. I don't know. It's a church bell or something
It's Hell's Bells, man.
Like that?
Yeah, like that.
I think that's how that guy sounds. All right, so it's not a big deal. I just really like Kirsty as a final girl. She's really prime example. If you're looking for a final girl, not enough people put her in the top 4, top 5 discussion. Some people do, but I think it's because Hellraiser's so hit or miss, and it starts slow. It really does. It takes a good, for real, 30, 40 minutes for it to get spicy.
And it takes at least, there's a small clip of them in the beginning, but it takes at least almost an hour to get to see them for the first time. Really see them.
The finale's great.
Yeah, but that's a lot. That's a lot of movie to go through. I will say, when we're talking horror icons, Pinhead does slip my mind from time to time.
Sure.
But
he does everybody. See, he falls in that weird realm, man. He's such a... If you were to really jot down on paper what's horror, or if somebody said, "Hey, Ozark Mark, you do a horror movie podcast, you know Pinhead." Yeah, absolutely, I know Pinhead, know Hellraiser, but it's one of those ones that slips through the kind of cracks, and I felt that would fall in the theme of this season because I really am. I mean, we did The Burning. I like to talk about some of these underbelly horror movies, and even though Hellraiser is such a giant, I agree with you, man. It's you still see people rocking the shit, but I wish you saw more Pinhead masks.
Yeah, well, it's really a shame too because this film's special effects, its makeup, Frank just alone. Imagine the hours. If you haven't seen this, watch it. Look at his multiple fucking masks, makeups, all that stuff. The Cenobites. Just them alone doing their stuff, and the birth scene of Frank.
The makeup not only
unreal. It's really done very well. It's up there with the American Werewolf transformation scene.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And to be quite truthful with you, it's one of those things where it still holds up. The CGI doesn't. There's parts where CGI looks a little 80s. But it almost looks so old now where it looks different and cool. It doesn't look as cool. There's going to be something really weird that happens, I think. In 40 years, when somebody goes back and watches an 80s movie, some will be corny, but some might be scarier because it looks so different from what they're used to because they're used to something so polished and clean.
Well, yeah. Just for example, the electricities. This is the most 80s CGI cheesiest thing you could ever... But I enjoyed that, though. I really kind of enjoyed the cheesiness of it a bit.
I do too, man. I do too.
It doesn't ruin the movie for me. Because, obviously, this isn't supposed to be realistic any damn way.
No, but it does create its own world, its own tone, its own feel. If you said you were going to watch Hellraiser, I'm not being corny or whatever, but movies are art, and obviously if you think of a certain movie, it could put you in a place if you're like, hey man, we're gonna watch Sandlot, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, Sandlot, like that puts you in like a summer mood, whatever. Somebody's like, hey, we're gonna watch Hellraiser, you're like, oh man, I hear those bells. It's dong. I want you to edit those in if at all possible. If you can't, don't do it, but if you can find those bells, that's a sweet score, man. I don't know what the hell that is, but props to that. I'm trying to think of makeup, too. Who did the makeup on this? It's going to piss me off once I think of it. It's going to come to me.
I didn't mean to stump you.
Sometimes it happens, man.
Well, there's so much information up there in that brain of yours. How can you remember everything?
I know. You know what's really funny, man? So we have these Cenobites, and there's different ones, okay? So we've been talking about Pinhead, but you've got the guy, if you're watching on on YouTube, you can see him over there. He's the thickin'. That's Butterball.
Butterball is the most useless one,
and he has a big vagina on his belly. I don't know what that's about. It reminds me of Videodrome.
I don't know either. I feel bad for the butter one though, because he didn't do anything significant the entire time. He just stood there like he was useless. Mm-hmm. And the one time, his time to shine, he gets trampled on by a falling house.
He did.
That's it.
He did.
Poor little Butterball.
And then you have, they just call her female Cenobite, but really I call her protractor face because it looks like she has a protractor in her face. I don't know why. That was the choice. But she talks, and she has like a real creepy setup. So Pinhead has that like booming, like, you open the box, we came. And she's like, yes, you open the box. You know, she's like his hype man, but she's soft, and I don't know, dude. It's really crazy. It is really crazy. When she said, because there's a confrontation with Kirsty and the Cenobites after she opens the box, and they're like, all right, well, we're taking you. And she's like, no, I can give you Frank. Frank escaped you. I know where he's at. And that girl was like, maybe we'd like to keep you instead. Like, it was like, oh, shit, dude, this lady's scary.
Yeah, Pinhead's like, no, I want to hear whatever he said.
He's like, well, he said, suppose he did escape. He said,
so
what does that have to do with you?
Pinhead had the dopest line, though, in the whole movie in that little exchange, though. Because he said, I forget exactly what he said off the top of my head. He said, enough with the tears. It's a waste of good suffering.
Yeah, he says, oh, no. He said, don't cry. He said, it's a waste of good tears.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was badass.
That's a badass line right there.
There's some kink in there, too. There's a little bit of spice.
A little bit of spice for your life.
Yeah, it was good stuff, man.
Good stuff, dude.
But that's because it's Doug Bradley. He's the actor who played Pinhead. Doug Bradley's great, man. He's not only just a great scary guy, he's a great actor in general. Mm-hmm. He kind of reminds me of Robert Englund a little bit, just a very smart, erudite guy. Robert's more of a talker. I'm just saying, they're cultured older cats. You could tell that they're not just like, what's up? They're smart dudes, and you can see it in their films. I got to meet Doug. That was very nice. He's a cool-ass dude. I showed him my tattoo. He enjoyed it. He liked it. And then he punched me.
You have a very punchable face.
I do. So, he didn't punch me. He did not. But he's a nice dude. He was in that one of those newer Wrong Turns. I want to say Wrong Turn 6. I don't remember which one it was. But
there's that many wrong turns?
Yeah, it was great, though.
Holy shit. That's a lot of wrong turns. You would eventually think you stop making these wrong turns and make the right turn.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
They actually, you know what's fun about those is they don't. You don't have to watch one to know the other. So if you're like, hey, I've never seen Wrong Turn 3 through 5, it's like, don't matter. Doesn't matter. You can just watch this new one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, same shit.
Yeah, it's its own movie. So right. I kind of enjoy that because there's a lot of TV shows and movies these days where it's like, do you guys want to invest 247 hours of your life for the next 2 years? I'm like, no, not preferably. If we could just kind of wrap this up with a good hour and a half movie. Because movies, even if it's a long movie, it'll eventually be over. And I'm like, all right, I saw it through. whoa, this is long. But sometimes TV shows, that really does piss me off. You watch a long TV show and it fizzles out bad. You're like, what the hell happened here? Mm-hmm. I've given you so much of my time. Like, don't do this to me.
Right.
I think The Wrong Turns do a great job. It just doesn't matter. It's very light-spirited. Hellraisers aren't light-spirited. They're kind of like deep and dark, but they work well because of the book.
Yeah.
And it's there. Clive doesn't, there's no ambiguity about anything. He made everything he wanted. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a cool little world. Lots of chains.
There are lots of chains. This makes me feel like it was either inspired the character Scorpion from Mortal Kombat with all these chains just launching and hooking into you.
I think when did Mortal Kombat come out?
I think it was in 1990.
Yeah.
1990 and 1991.
Dude, the chains were vicious in this because eventually Frank, when he's takes over Larry's body, there's like wearing a skin.
Yeah.
Wearing a skin, and the Cenobites finally find him, and it's the final showdown, which is great. It's the iconic scene. Mm-hmm. He gets all done up with these chains, and he's just like, Jesus wept. And they rip him apart. Mm-hmm. That's something you don't forget as like an 8-year-old kid. You're like, what the fuck?
Nah, seeing his skin all stretched out and everything.
Yeah, that was some... Here's a part, Mark, that I'm surprised you haven't mentioned yet. What about the pet store creep? The guy that came in there and ate the crickets.
Dude.
Like, that guy looked like Enzo Amore, the WWE wrestler. Well, he's not in there now, but he looked just like him. Like, I was laughing so hard.
I mean, what would you do in that? What would you do in that situation?
She says, hey, give those back. He's just got like 12 crickets in his hand. Like,
who says that? Who wants them back? Like, just get out of here, dude.
Hey, give those back.
Get those back. No.
Like,
can we go to a pet store and then you just grab crickets and see what they say?
Hey, give those back. That was a very funny scene. And then, like, Kirsty's boyfriend dude comes in and he's like got this like, it's like that late 80s, early 90s look, kind of looking like Bill Hicks with like a tight black turtleneck. You're like, oh boy.
Do you remember the trick that he does when they're at the dinner table?
With a cigarette?
Yeah.
Bro, that's it, yeah.
How do you know how to do that?
I've tried it before and it was like bad and I just never did it again.
I don't know how he did that.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what he did, is he has a cigarette about 3/4 of the way smoked already. Has it on the edge of his lips, and he flips it in his mouth, closes his mouth, and then pops it back out and starts smoking it again.
With his lips, though. It's just hanging off his lips, and he, like, does the little, like,
he does like a
flipperoo.
Flip with his mouth, keeps it in his mouth, and then flips it back out.
And it's bam, it's right there, dog.
Mm-hmm. And Kirsty's like, oh.
That's hot.
That's all it took in 87 was to do a cigarette trick.
Boom. We would have been in there, dog.
Yeah.
We would have been in there.
Yeah. We were born in the wrong time.
Yeah, maybe somebody laughs at us. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Nobody knows, but how about you tell me something?
Nobody knows.
Do you know anything?
About what?
Do you know anything?
About the presidents?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Boom. Welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is the segment here where we're here to tell you, something that you may or may not know about this movie here. So if you're like us, you know what we know, you know what we know. But if you're not like us and you don't know what we know, you're about to find out what we know. And then together we're going to join together like cat dog and we're going to have a wee no-gasm. Okay? So let's find out something that you may or may not know about this movie here.
You want to know something I know about this movie?
Yeah, I want to know something that you know about this movie.
Here's something I know.
Okay. Please tell me. Hurry up.
There was somebody's job. Someone had a job.
A career.
They were employed. Someone had the job
Uh-huh.
of cockroach and maggot wrangler on the set of this movie. To get all the bugs, that's their job. Could you imagine? What'd you do today? Well,
I played with a bunch of maggots and cockroaches.
How much money does that guy make?
Nah, probably not a fucking lot. I
mean,
don't know. Probably because, it's probably like a specialty.
Are they like trained? They train them.
Where do you get a cockroach and magnet guy?
I don't know.
You know?
That's why it's an interesting fact, because
I'm
pretty
confused.
Interesting I'm confused of who's doing this, because I'm picturing like the guys from the Silence of the Lambs that were working, the bug guys in the basement.
Yeah.
Those are the only bug guys I know.
Well, who collects bugs?
Yeah, it's the only guys I know.
That's weird.
The Silence of the Lambs guys. So yeah, that's maybe that was their job. Maybe.
That's pretty weird, yeah.
So that's a pretty strange fact. You got any kind of facts? I like stuff. I like to know stuff.
Yeah, I got a fact here.
Okay.
Sorry, excuse me.
No, you're fine.
I belched.
Belched.
So, when you're talking about the movie Hellraiser, it was from 1987.
Yup.
And it had artwork on the cover. And on the cover, what you're used to seeing is Pinhead with the Pandora's box.
Oh yeah, he's holding
That's
a little
the
puzzle
cover.
box there.
Yeah, he's a little puzzle box smiling with his needles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, that was not supposed to be the cover that they wanted.
Oh, so they wanted something different.
They wanted something different. They
I like
wanted.
That one.
They wanted. I think it's a good one. But they originally wanted Frank all
all nasty looking,
all meated up on the
Okay.
cover.
That
Well,
would've
I mean, it
probably-
makes sense because he's really more of the main character than Pinhead is. But I mean, Pinhead's the star.
It's like a
But
love
the,
story.
Yeah,
technically.
but the studio was like, "Hey, no, we ain't doing that. We don't want the grotesque material over here." So, they went with Pinhead, which I think it was a better idea. A lots of these things that we talk about, facts here, where they were gonna do something else. What they went with is always the better idea. It seems like to me.
For sure,
Yeah.
sure, it worked. It's like maybe it wouldn't have worked if it was the other way around.
Yeah. So that's all I know here. You know anything else about this movie here?
Yeah. I know something about this movie.
Okay, go ahead.
Look, I know something about this movie. The puzzle box, the puzzle box? That was inspired by Clive Barker's grandpa. Clive Barker's grandpa gave him a puzzle box when he was a little boy. And he says, "Oh shit, this is interesting. I like this. This is neat."
Was it like a Rubik's Cube or an actual puzzle box?
He said he got it from the Far East, so I don't know. I'm picturing something like The Exorcist, like Father Merrin in the beginning when he's getting these weird little relics. I imagine that's where he got it from, somebody like that. Had a cafe like that at the beginning of The Exorcist.
So that's what kind of the beginning of this movie is here when he's at a Far East. What's your pleasure? That guy.
That guy, that's what I'm picturing. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool there. That's kind of, that I didn't, think about it. This is kind of based on a true story.
Yeah.
It kind of is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, based on true story means it's just, based on a true story. We can make a movie about,
My life?
your life and make it about donuts and pigs. But it's based on a true story.
Yeah,
You know what
as
I'm
long
saying?
as you include some facts,
Yeah.
Hey, there's a fact.
But there was a real inspiration of your grandfather going back to the Far East and getting a puzzle box here.
That's what he did. He liked to do
that's
that.
what he did.
That's good stuff.
That's great stuff.
Look, now you guys know stuff about Hellraiser you didn't before you went in.
Yeah. Yeah, so I hope you have a towel nearby because you're having a weak orgasm right about now. So let it breathe after you're done.
Yeah, you gotta do that for sure.
Okay. Let's go back to the other guys now.
Okay. So that's some interesting stuff, though, Ozark. That is pretty cool. I like knowing that about the movie poster, because that movie poster is pretty iconic if you really think about it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Do a Google image search. It's like the first 10 that pop up.
for sure.
For you young Thundercats out there who don't know what the fuck a poster is.
Obviously, I was thinking next season, Mark. I don't know if it'll be next Well, I think it'd be appropriate for next season. We can obviously touch the horror movies that deal with the seasons if we get into Christmas and, cover some of those flicks. But as the season rolls on for next season, I think we need a season of sequels. Or we can bust just all sequels, the whole season. I think that would be great. And I definitely think one of the Hellraisers will be on there as well. You're going to break it, Ozark.
I'm not doing anything.
It's going to short now.
No, it's not.
Uh-huh.
Well, then I'll fucking unplug it then. How about that?
You're just breaking and shorting all the wires.
You don't know about technology. You don't.
Aliens.
No, you don't.
Dude.
You don't know anything.
I know a couple things.
You can barely find Channel 3 on the fucking remote.
I would do a lot better if it was the old school way, where we had to like screw on the coaxial cable or look for the 3.
Yeah,
Back then,
I missed the knob.
Dude, we were like little people taking apart bombs. If you wanted to hook up a fucking N64, you're back there like red wire, green wire, blue goes blue, blue goes blue, Did you see anything? Do you see anything?
Super Nintendo days, that's what it was. Super Nintendo days on Channel 3.
Yep.
Dude, my mom has an old school VCR that she still uses. Like it's a VCR DVD combo.
I got a VCR behind you.
Yeah. And it's the thing where it has to be on, like, the VCR has to be set to Channel 3. The TV has to be set to Channel 3. This concept eludes her sometimes. And it's like, well, what was wrong with it? Well, this was on Channel 4 when it needs to be on Channel 3. Things need to connect. Anything with technology, fucking technology.
Okay?
It has to connect. It's all electricity. You have to connect the things together to get the signal from point A to point B. That's all it is. That's all electricity is. Anything electronic has to have signal flow. Anything with audio or visual, it all has to be signal flow to the spot it needs to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You just had a producer-gasm.
I did.
I like that.
I'm sticking to this chair right now.
We need towels down here.
So, Christian Ramey.
Yeah?
I love asking you this question.
Okay.
You know what question it is.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and do it.
You are asking me my favorite part of the movie.
Yes.
The cricket guy scene's up there. I enjoy that a lot. I tell you what's really funny about this.
I tells you.
Okay. I was talking about this with somebody, and they were saying, Frank, it's definitely super kinky because he tells Julia, he goes by Daddy. You know, he's like, come to Deddi. But he doesn't say it like Daddy. It's like it's spelled like D-E-D-D-I, come to Deddi.
Isn't it?
You're never going to be able to hear it the same again, and it's just like, come to Deddi. That's how he says it. Deddi.
Deddi. Come to Deddi.
Yeah, bust that one
Deddi.
out next time when you're throwing some back shots in there. Just, Deddi's here.
No.
Deddi.
I don't know, man. That's creepy to me.
Yeah, no, it's very strange to come in with that. So that I don't like the Deddi. I prefer just the father.
Come to father.
Rip my guts out, father. That's what I enjoy.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
That's what my fiance says.
Don't tell me that ever again. So that's good. That's a good part. I'm gonna have to go with.
Rip my guts out.
Shut up.
That's what the ladies say.
No, they don't.
No,
they don't.
I'm learning.
Ever. That's something you just made up.
Do you have a favorite part of this? That part makes me laugh a lot. I do enjoy that part. And here's another part.
That's my turn. Fuck you.
No, hold on real quick.
No, it's my turn.
All right, I'll
It's
come
my
back.
turn.
I'm coming back after this.
That's
After
fine.
This, all right.
We can go bring it around town right to you. My favorite part is the movers. Okay, when the two moving guys are in there, they just crack me up. They just sit down the mattress. The first word out of this guy's mouth is, "You got any beer?"
Like,
That's
no
your
fucks given.
That's your first thing. Not how you doing. This is a nice place you got here. Watch your foot. No, it's, "You got any beer?" And then, like, they're giving Julia awkward looks, like, "What's up?" Yeah.
You trying to?
And then Kirsty walks in. This is the best part. This is my favorite part. Kirsty walks in and she goes, one guy goes, "Oh, it must be my lucky day."
Like, you can catcalling. Like, you can't do that shit.
It's like horrible. And then she walks past, and she goes to make coffee or whatever. And then Larry comes back, and the mover guy's like, "Is that your daughter?" "Yeah, that's my daughter." "Well, she's got her mother's beauty. Her mother's dead." Like, oh.
You could have said that a little different, Larry.
I know.
Lawrence, how about we take down the seriousness?
He just it was just out of nowhere. Like, her mother's dead. Oh, not like, oh, well, her mother passed away. It's like, no, just straight up to the point, blunt as possible. Yeah, her mother's dead.
You know how you told me that you think Scorpion might have had a little inspiration from the Chains?
Yeah.
You're familiar with Mick Foley, or, as Mankind.
Yes.
Do you remember the move called the Mandible Claw?
Yeah.
It's a wrestling move where somebody comes in and they take like their...
It's Mr. Sacco, isn't it?
Well, that became a variation, but when he was Mankind, initially he just did the mandible, and then he came out with the Sacco, which was the same thing. But you pretty much take your ring and your middle finger and you shove it down somebody's tongue and you just push down on it. It's a very weird and awkward thing. But the first interaction with Kirsty, when these damn Cenobites come in, Chatterer, which we haven't discussed him yet, he's got big old teeth like me, and he's coming in, he straight puts this girl in a mandible claw, just like fingers in your mouth.
What do those fingers taste like, you think?
Spicy.
I'm thinking like coleslaw or something.
Yeah, hot dogs.
Dogs.
Cold hot dogs.
Yeah. Could be it.
Yep, that's definitely a possibility. So I think that's every time I see that part where he just busts in, it's like, no.
I just hear what's his name? Jerry Lawler and
JR.
Yeah, JR, just the mandible claw.
Oh god.
Oh my god, the mandible claw.
Somebody out there with free time, please just edit that scene with some wrestling mandible claw with JR just going nuts, and
just a montage of all the mandible claws.
Well, just like this scene in particular when Chatterer comes in and gets her, just make it a wrestling thing. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be way easy.
You can't do that, dude. You cannot do that over there.
Shut up.
He yawned.
People yawn. I need to get oxygen to my brain. You know why? Because you're suffocating me down here in your hot house.
It's not that
you just had like candles lit and shit. You're fucking blowing your e-cigarette smoke all over the place. You're creating smog.
Yeah.
That kills people.
I guess you got a point, man.
I guess so, man.
We're doing something we love.
So let's do something we love, and why don't you rate this fucking movie?
We do need to rate it.
Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah! Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, because you just went through that little portal there, and now you're here. So, hello to you. You might be wondering what we're doing here on the Sloppy Horror Rating. Well, it's exactly what it is. It's a Sloppy Horror Rating. We're here to rate this movie. We're here to tell you what it rates on a horror movie scale. I am not doing that because I don't do that shit. But Christian Ramey does do that stuff. That is his life, and you should listen to him because he's pretty smart when it comes to this stuff. So, we're going to do this in a series of 4 categories. Treat the categories worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1 point for a total of
10 points altogether.
10 points altogether. Diaz, like they say, south the border. So, let's go on to the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
So casting, this is actually a pretty easy give me. Clive Barker stated that, I don't want to hire on just young, beautiful teenage people. I want actors and actresses and people that know how to deliver. He worked with Doug Bradley in a play, and it wasn't Pinhead, but he was some kind of dude that tortured people. His character was, and that was some of the inspiration for this, to use him. Everyone killed it in this movie. There's like not a weak link. Excuse me. This is a 3 out of 3, hands down. No questions asked. 3 out of 3. I mean, even as annoying as Julia is, This movie wouldn't have worked if she wasn't so annoying.
No, you need her to be annoying. Like, she did exactly what her character was meant to do.
She's like a bitch, not in like that. And obviously, we don't call ladies bitches that often.
I do.
Well, he does. But this isn't like, oh, she's like, she's a bitch, like in a hot way. She looks mean, dude, like all the time. Like, she looks super fucking mean for no reason. You're like, will you smile, please?
Dude, you know what she did?
Smile.
She was smoking in the house, and she stomped the cigarette out on the floor and walks away.
Oh,
you remember when she did that in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck is this bitch?
Oh, bro, you would, yeah.
Ooh.
You're on your hands and knees with Pledge.
Oh.
You're cleaning that out.
So that's 3 out of 10 so far after the first category. We're going to go on to the second little picky here, and that is kills.
So there is a variety. We have hammer. We have chains. Okay. What else we got going on? Was there anything else aside from hammers and chains?
Hammers and chains.
There was
hammers and chains. Some dude got skinned.
Yeah.
Larry got skinned and drained.
And that one guy, he got like pinned to the wall, you remember? And then there was those weird noises. I wasn't exactly sure what he was making, but those are fun.
Yep.
Very creative. A lot of gore, blood. Very creative in that sense. So you're coming for a movie. You want some kills. This is a 3 out of 3.
It's not 3.
It is a 3.
It's not a 3. It's at least a 2.
I'm telling you. Here's why. Because, like, think of when Frank was hung upside down on that crazy thing and he's, like, draining blood. You're getting people dying with the hammer. If you're coming to watch a horror flick, this is laced with kills throughout the whole time. People are dying. Let me reconsider your thought, though. Let me get it.
I'm fine with the.
Let's go 2.5.
I'm fine with the. I think it should be a 2.
2.5.
I think it should be a 2, because there is a good variety. There is a good number of kills, but the variety isn't really there. Really, you just have hammer, somebody getting beat with a hammer, and then getting ripped apart by chains. That's it. There's a lot of them. She kills like 4 people with the hammer.
Yeah.
Okay. You got 1 kill from the Cenobites, and that's just the chain at the end. So there's a good amount of kills, but I feel like if you're going to get a 3, you got to have a good amount of kills and a variety of them to get to the 3.
I will accept your appeal, and we will go for 2.
Hot damn! I never knew. I got a rating. That's my first rating.
We'll go 2. That's fine. Rating. That's fine. I
usually don't agree with you here, but I had to disagree with you a little bit on that one there.
I'm throwing that blood and that extra gore into my rating for the fear.
As you should. That makes a better place for it. So let's go on to the third and final category here, as we are at a 5 out of 10 so far, and that is fear. Is this movie a scary movie, Christian Ramey?
I would say for sure, because do you remember, obviously, every time the Cenobites come, there's crazy imagery with blood. You remember, like, the IV was dripping blood, and blood was coming out of the walls. Mm-hmm. Cenobites are very dramatic. I was just talking about how you see Frank being tortured, and that's kind of a big, like, that's really, like, that's some imagery, like, you just don't forget. He's, like, spinning upside down. He's just, like, leaking and draining blood. Frank the whole time looks super gory and scary. As an adult, I don't know if this movie will really frighten you, but as an adult, I don't really know if any movie's going to frighten you, but as a kid, this scared the shit out of me. And I think they put enough frightening imagery in this and all sorts for it to be a 3.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of scary imagery, and it's kind of got that Freddy fear. Mm-hmm. A little bit, because it focuses on one thing, like there's supernatural, but there's something that is believable somewhat as a puzzle box. Like they're very much, that will make you not look at a puzzle box the same.
And they built suspense. Like they even had pop scares. Like you remember like that monkey scream? Like that was not needed, not necessary, but it like really like sent the end of the scene and the transition into something.
I'm telling you, when they first appear, when Kirsty first opens that box in the hospital and you first see them all there and they're getting ready to take her, you feel kind of like, oh shit, girl. Like, that's kind of like, I would be terrified if I was her. Like, fuck, you're going to, especially just because of what they do.
Yeah.
Is frightening enough. I mean, they're going to rip you to pieces.
And then
slowly.
Even the fact that, like, this lady will kill you with a hammer and dupe you at the bar, that's got some fear to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Make you second guess. You go home with a broad and sunglasses and star earrings.
She's going to get you.
Yeah. So that's 3. Good. That's a good one. All right. So that takes us to 8 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast. Rain, we're down to the last category here, and that is the special little 1-point category, which is, does Christian Ramey fuck with this movie?
I do.
I know you do.
This would have been a perfect 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for Ozark Mark. But
I'm just saying, man.
I'm sorry, Hellraiser fans.
Look, man.
But I agree with Ozark Mark.
Maybe the sequels may be perfect scores, but I'm telling you, if you really think about it,
I guess you do have a point with variety. But I lumped what I was talking about into fear, so I feel fair about that. And yeah, that's a solid rating. Hellraiser is a pillar in the horror community. This is somebody who made their own story. It's its own fucking thing. It's not just one thing that's scary. And they add all different. You got the psychological. You got just the imagery. You've got some pop scares. You got the whole fucking kit and caboodle. Great flick. And if you don't mess with it, I understand. If you really, really don't like Hellraiser, try starting it like 48 minutes in. Like, just watch, like, the last half of it. It's like Titanic, that bitch. Put in the second tape.
Exactly.
And watch the...
Or it's like turning on 8 Mile just to watch the rap battles.
Yeah, like, just watch the part.
Or it's turning on Home Alone just to see Marvin Harry break into the house.
Yes.
This is kind of a movie like that.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy the beginning part, but I will admit it's slow. So
it is a little bit of a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to establish the story, I guess. But this is more of, like, story-based horror type of movie. I mean, you actually have to pay attention a little bit in this to understand fully what's going on. Not a lot, not like a mystery type movie, but you do kind of know what's going on a little bit to understand.
I for sure with you agree. I agree with you for sure is what I should say. And it's not like a 4-hour movie either, so that's kind of cool too. Even though it's a slow burn getting into it, it's not some like long ass movie. It's a pretty normal length for a movie.
It's an hour and 33 minutes.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
With 3 minutes of credits, so it's about an hour and a half of your life. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I love movies that are hour and a half. That's the perfect amount of time for a movie. Perfect amount of time for a movie.
Yep, I like that, Mark. I do. This is Hellraiser, man. You guys need to go out and watch this. We're going into the spooky season. And obviously, we got big things coming for you folks, aside from Pinhead. You think we were just going to go and not talk about Pinhead? We were just casually not going to? We were. It's here. And guess what? It's almost September. It's just like a couple days away.
Yes, it is. September. That's the time where the weather starts to cool down. Thank fuck God. I hope it does at least.
But I want you to wake me up when September ends. Do you like that? I kind of made that up.
No, you did.
Yeah, I did. I think that it's got a ring to it.
Well, you should trademark it.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to put it in a song. It's about terrorism. Now, what I'm excited for is obviously we'll remind you again, because maybe this is your first episode. We have 13 episodes this season, and the 13th episode will be hitting you sons of bitches on Halloween Day, which is a Sunday. Usually our episodes come out on Mondays, but this will be a Sunday. But what we'll do for you guys is we will release it a week early with the 12th episode, okay? And we'll put that on Patreon. So if you want to watch it a week early, you want to support Ozark, Mark, and I, that would be a great way to do it. You also want to help us out. We have the website. That's up now, sloppyhorrorpodcast.com. Go on there. You want some t-shirts, you want some candles, and we're just at the start of all this. So, I mean, this is just very entry level, and we're getting our feet wet and all this, but we've had so many requests from all of you guys, and we've had such a big help from all of you people that have reached out. So, much thanks and much love for sure. For sure. So just please be excited for Halloween, guys. That's what it's all about. I mean, I know you're like me. you're passionate for horror, you like to feel good, make sure you throw this one in your rotation. And make sure you fucking check us out every Monday. That's why we give them to you on Monday, because you got your whole week ahead of you. I don't know what your week is panned out and doing, but there's an hour in your week that you can spend with us. And if you want to get a hold of us, obviously you can reach out to us on, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We've been doing a decent amount of things on the Instagram as far as like little contests and giveaways. So if you guys are into that, you can follow us there, Sloppy Horror on there. But message us. Let us know how you're feeling. A lot of you guys do, but just let us know where you're from. Let us know what you're trying to hear us talk about, because that's what we love to do. We like to lean into what you guys want to hear about. That's what we're here to do.
Because remember, we are providing entertainment for you.
Yeah.
We want to know what you want to do.
Men are the people.
What do you like to hear? What do you want to know?
Yes.
What do you love? And what do you want to hear our opinions about? Because you're still here, so you find our opinions interesting, I guess.
Exactly.
I suppose so. I mean, this guy over here, I mean, you can name any movie you want. He's going to tell you. He's going to tell you.
It's a problem.
He's going to tell you.
So, yeah, just make sure if, following us on all of our platforms is a big help for us if you want to help Sloppy Horror Podcast.
Yes, it is. The two main ones seems like right now, the most interactive ones are the TikTok, okay? And don't forget about the Sloppy Horror Discord chat.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You're going to have to reach out to Ozark or to me and message us, and we can send you a link to the Discord because it's private. Not for the fact that we're trying to keep limited amount of people, but you just don't want any weirdo going in there and shaking things up with the great community that we've, established. So if you want to be a part of that, reach out to us. We have watch parties. I watch movies usually every night with the people.
You can send us an application.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
It just consists of your name, your social security number, and a front and rear nude picture.
Yes.
So that's the qualifications, and if you meet the qualifications, Christian will send you a link, and then you can join the family.
Exactly.
Family.
That's how it works around here.
But it's a good time though. It's a great thing. These people are looking out for each other, and they really help people through their day. It seems like so. That's good. It's a good place. Good, nice, safe place for you.
Yeah, I'm
fans.
very thankful for all of them on there, and also too. We're going to be out in Texas next month, or I will, promoting Sloppy Horror Podcast at the Texas Frightmare Festival. So if you see me, say something. I don't know what kind of little care packages we'll have or what time you'll catch me, but maybe I'll have something for you. Come say something. I'm definitely going to be making a lot of content and having a lot of fun, so I hope I see you guys out there. I really do.
Hellraiser, 1987.
Clive Barker.
Go
Doug
watch
Bradley.
it. Okay, you can rent it on Amazon. I believe there is somebody who uploaded it to YouTube, the full movie, the one you don't have to pay for, but it's very low quality. It's like 360 frames per second. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's on Shudder, I believe, right now too.
Yes, it is on Shudder. If you're a horror fan and you don't have Shudder, I mean, what are you doing?
Come on, Shudder, hook us up, bro.
I know.
We're plugging you for nothing.
I know, damn.
Yeah, guys.
Let's just say they are. This is brought to you by our great sponsor, Shudder.
I wish it was. But
and Marlboro cigarettes.
Yeah.
And also Kroger purified water. It's the purest of the purified waters.
Mark,
also Eureka.
You're gonna have to blur all that out. I don't think you can have those in there.
Yeah, we can. It's on YouTube. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Nah, it's because we have ads on YouTube. Is why we can't.
We're gonna see where it goes.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I wouldn't say our podcast is sponsored by people it's not, and by cigarettes.
I never said it was.
Cigarettes.
I never said
weed.
It was. I didn't say weed. I just said Eureka. Nobody knows what it is.
Yeah, it's not.
It could be anything.
It's not weed.
It's not. It's not. It's actually.
It's not.
All it is
thumb drives.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. Or SD cards, SNRD cards.
Okay. Well, boys and girls, it's been fun.
Yeah,
as always, hanging with you. because, you know, you probably think I'm in your tape deck now.
With
In the
duct
backseat
tape
of your
stretched out.
Yeah. We
Duck
out
the
this
fuck
bitch.
way down. I love that song.
Will you just say something so we can leave?
Goodbye, guys. I love you.
That's pretty good.